Hey guys, I call this little car I can turn the wheels, didn't know that. Anyway, I call this car a Walla Walla. It's just a cute little, nice sleepy little car. I mean, not much going on. Anyway, let's take it to the track and see what, I don't expect much from this little guy. He's just cute and sleepy and... Yeah, why not? Let's blow a load. Sanja, what you bringing? Yeah, I got a little bit of a late start there, but yeah, that's welcome to Revhead. Yeah, Walla Wallas are pretty easy to move. I mean, usually I score in the 8s, except for that delayed launch when I was paying too much attention to the other car. But yeah, that's a very good little car. Let's try another car. Let's go to the parking lot, and yeah, I got a collection of cars. So, basically the cars on the right are my permanent collection, where the car on the left is what we're going to be using today. I mean, look, you can see the specs there, and a little bit off the chart. I'm going to just grab that car. The purple car was, that's sort of the car I built for the oval track, and it makes very, very lightweight build. It's like 1280 kg or 1.28 tons. This car, just the chassis, is 1500 kg, 1.5 tons. So it's basically a big old family turkey. So it's got like a huge back seat, and it's a family mobile. I mean, again, a very sleepy car, and it has no business on the racetrack. Absolutely no business whatsoever. Alright, let's just see what this little sucker does. I think the favorite for this race is Keith, and what in God's name was that? Yeah, it's just me and the Maguras right now. Anyway. The trick about these races is that it's a 10-lap race. And if you wipe out like that, you're basically screwed your car over. And so, because that happened, I could restart the race, but I'd be left with the damage I already took. And you see, the way the game scores damage is that it applies the damage to every part in the car. So now it looks like we're going to have a chance to review the build piece by piece. It's not exactly what I was planning for this video, but that's those are the chickens we got. Alright, now we got our damage. We got, it was much too early in the race. We had, basically because the engine had taken a serious hit, it would have been toast by the end of the race. And as I was starting to explain, that it's a 10-lap race, and whatever engine you have, it's got to last those laps. So once you get in the lead, you got to settle back and coast the rest of the race, because if you're just running that, if you're going all out and for the entire race, you won't have an engine by the end of the race, so you gotta watch that. Now, where we have... I didn't need the headlights. I was just going for the sleeper look, so I put those on. I put the horn on. Again, it's 1 kilogram, so normally I'd take that off. On a cooling system, a lot of times you don't need the fan. And on my lightweight builds, like the Walla Walla and the purple one, I took the cooling fan off. Doesn't need it. I tested it 7 laps on the time trials, and it at full throttle, and no problem. So so yeah, I mean, do your testing, make sure everything's good, and so all right. My rear end, I'm running let's see, a 2.2 ratio. And it's 25 kilograms, so it's on the lighter side, not the lightest in the game. And because I'm not going to go for a 2.1 or a 2 or a 1 anything, because this is a heavy car, and I got to balance with what I can do with what I have. Again, the damage is, I mean, this is too much damage to continue the race, and that's why I had to abort. So, and I'm going through this quickly, but basically what I have is the Wanja Special, and those are the things sold as the Wanja Special shocks, and then the red racing brakes. My rear tires, I did some testing last night, and the 245s I had that were stock to the car were not wide enough to hold it on the track. It was, I mean, this ass end was flopping all over the place. So I had to put these are sold as drag and the tires. Yeah, it's kind of showing a little wear, but I think I can above 90. It should be okay. And I'm using a Bunton Bang steering right now. The Walla Walla steering is much too loose for that. I mean, it's you want a very stiff steering rack. The important spec, however, is the sensitivity. Anything below that it'll take, like, you basically put your control over, and it'll be turning for the next several seconds, and then that's no good. So you got to have a nice high sensitivity there. And transmission, a nice a D4R. It is stock to the car. It's sort of their SC grade transmission, which is what I need for racing. So it's a good responsive gearbox. Dashboard, again, I was going for sleeper look, so it doesn't have a tacker. Very minimal dash on this. It's like a Jingu dash, but anyway. The front shocks, what I did was because it's a very heavy car, I stiffened it up by doing a double wishbone conversion on it. Ooh, my tires. Yeah, I gotta take a look at that. I don't think I want to go into a race with an 85 tires. I'm gonna see if I can see if I have a swap for that. Let's see if I swap for that. Yeah, I'll have to sell those 85s later. I mean, for street running or anything that's non-critical, yeah, fine, go 85. But we're gonna be doing a 10-lap race, so we gotta have everything good. always and to make sure you check the undercarriage when you're going over a car, and it's easy to overlook the undercarriage and the so make sure that's good. Yeah, I did see that it was like $370 of damage to that engine. Yeah, this car was not going to last the race. I don't know what this drive belt thing is, but I don't know why you can fix it and instead of just replacing it. Or, I think I only replaced one belt on my car ever, and it's just, well, 87. Yeah, that's okay. And we're just, I think I topped up the oil last night, but I'm gonna do it again. Yeah. Pressure, I'm down 3 ticks on the pressure. Again, I'm using 245s up front, which is stock for this chassis, and I'm using 340s in the rear, which are drag tires, and which I needed to do to keep the ass on the road. So, yeah, let's do a run and see what happens. Hopefully, my driving will be a little better. Yeah, the carb I'm running is a boot and bang carb, which gives me a pretty good boost just from the carb, so I can get away with the low-profile supercharger, which again allows me to maintain my sleeper look, which is what I was really going for this car. Yeah, it was pretty rude of me. I probably would have been got some kind of penalty in a real race, but I was kind of pissed. So I think I just screwed my car there, but let's just put in at least one good lap and see what happens. One of the things you do, like once your engine starts blowing flames out the rear, that means you're done. You are done, and so watch for that. So if you take a hit like that, and go to a third person, watch your tailpipe, and if you see the flames coming out, you're done. You're done. Quit the race. You're done. Dog my cats. I see what I did wrong with this build. I mean, last night I tested it with the Walla Walla build, and I was all over the place. So I was thinking, okay, I'll go to a boot and bang on a steering rack, and it turns out that was a mistake because I'm not getting the turning radius I need. So again, this is more of a art than a science, or more of a science than an art. So I can't just. So I figured, okay, well, I'll just stiffen up the steering and I'll be good for the video tomorrow. And that was not the case. Okay, I'm still not. I still have an engine, so I'm gonna keep going, but. Yep, that steering rack was a mistake. Oh yeah. Yeah, again, in testing I felt the Walla Walla steering rack was too loose. And usually with Maguras I can use the stock steering, it works just fine. So, it looks like the situation is not equal with this chassis. So again, I mean, even though I wanted to, my plan was to look all cool and dominant, I'm still learning stuff about this game, and I'm still learning stuff about these parts, and I'm still have a comfortable lead, and I'm doing 38-second laps here, and I was doing about 32-second laps last night when I was testing things out. I mean, I'm not running all out right now. I'm just I'm doing I'm aware that my engine's taken a hit, and well, we're on lap 5, so we might make it. So I guess we'll settle in for a boring video here, but maybe I'll cut these upper laps out. You know, it's not really exciting. I'm not gonna push the engine hard enough that I might actually lap these guys. Well, I'm coming up on his tail. I'm coming up on the pack's tail right now, so we'll see who's in the car that we're approaching right now is Hunter, and we'll see what he brought to the race. It's obviously worse than this piece of junk, so I think Hunter usually drives Buntenbang, so let's see what he has. Because I'm getting to the end of the race, I'm going to give it a little bit more gas just because I want to see what this guy is driving, not because I think that my engine can actually take the abuse. Oh yeah, yeah. He's driving a Wanja. This is Hunter's Wanja is basically how a Wanja should behave, but yeah. The next is Keith H, which I thought he would be in the lead car on this race. I think it's because I pushed him into sideways early on that he sort of fell behind and he couldn't catch up. I think that's what happened. And he's done. A Wanja has absolutely no business whatsoever passing a Magura. That was just wrong. What you just saw was wrong. but there you go. And the next car up is let's see, Chol. I don't know what. See what Chol brought. Still have an engine. Yeah, I'm limited by the steering rack I brought. That it's definitely the wrong rack for this car. I mean, with a Walla Walla, I know it would be a little bit tricky to hold, but I'd be able to hold maybe the second, and I'd be able to do that at full throttle. Oh shit! That's the second hit I took this race. Gotta get back up to speed here. Sigh. Yeah, I hear that backfire means I just lost my engine. See what Tim did. He was driving, let's see, he had a Walla Walla, he had a Magura Keith H. He was my favorite for the race, but I don't know what happened to him. Another Wanja. I mean, Wanjas are tricky to build, and I did it, but, oh my god. Oh my god. It's alright. Now what we're gonna do, I was gonna walk you through a build of a let's see, we're gonna do a what the game calls a Narnu, or an SUV basically. It looks like the only one I have in this. Let's just shuffle things up. Wrecked, Narnu, got any... If I'm doing this for a video, okay, well, okay, high mileage Narnu, okay. Yeah, I'll take it. Oh, bugger, no. So basically, I'm forced to sell this. A car like this should go to a woman with no understanding of cars, absolutely clueless. So let's convert this back to, let's inspect the damage and convert it to street. Do a little testing of it, make sure that it's a good street car. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix that, remove. I was using... I didn't really want a 4x4 differential in this. Basically, the cost is these 2 extra half shafts, and those. So the car was a little bit heavier than I wanted. I didn't need a 4x4 on that race, but that's what I had. And there's a Wanja SE here, which has a 285. Which is good for that engine. So I'm going to give her the 285. And the again, I mean, I had a very race-oriented diff in there, very, very low ratio, very, very high top end. Where this, if I'm going to send this car out to do grocery runs, then I'm going to have a much milder on a. Again, use parts for the brand. Okay, that's gonna be a good on a street. Now I'm gonna pull the tires off. I'm gonna pull those off. Yeah, a lot of damage. Rims, I'm gonna go to. Now the trick is, I want the stock 245s to match what I have in front. But I don't know what color. Now it's the 17. I'm gonna go for the. Let's see. The 17 is 6 kilograms, and the 20 is 9.5. Now, if I was really super optimizing for weight, well, I would lose a little bit of stiffness in the wheel, but I would gain. Let's see, about 6.5 kilograms. Let's see. Yeah, I would gain 7 kilograms per axle, and that's a lot of weight. So, and again, I was trying to go for a. Well, luck has it, then that's the. Remove that, fix that, remove that. Once again, hopefully find the right. Do the 245/20. See, that's the high gloss rim, and I want the factory dull rim there. So I have to go fish again. Alright, let's see. I think that rim was... Let's see, 202. There's probably a tire on there. Remove that tire, yeah. Install a rim. High gloss. Yeah, this video's going off into the woods. Let's see. Ah, lucky. Alright. Yeah, not quite. So what we're going to do is, again, set this up for street. Enough. Yeah, 245 for an. Yeah, again, it has high sensitivity, pretty high steering angle. I usually recommend this for off-roading, but apparently that the boot and bang does not really work on this chassis, so lesson learned there. Again, we're using the Narnu hub, which has the double wishbone configuration, which I was using to stiffen up that front end so I could actually steer the thing. Yeah, I had a horn there, and I was being obnoxious with the horn. Now, let's see what's left of our engine. We had 745, and we were down to 88%. So, yeah, we had run that thing almost to death. And the oil filter, yeah, it's a crap filter. Let's just go for a, yeah, let's just put a generic on there. I'll have to clean this up later. Sparks, those are gone. So let's see. We're gonna let's see what's in the paper. See if we can get on brand specific spark plugs. Used spark plug. Who in God's name would want used spark plugs? I think I might buy those anyway. But I mean that's because I'm basically forced to flip this car, so I'll take that just so I'm complete here. Yeah, we're going from 76 to 95, so that's okay. I mean, it's what we got to do. I don't know why the starter took a hit. That should have been. So we're just going to go through the entire list, double check our supercharger. Yeah, we're good. I mean, it's should be a good car again. They're going to just put in our synthetic oil again. We changed the tires, so we're going to have to, yeah, get everything, put everything on the ground again. Wash it. Yeah, battery. Timing's still good. Yeah, the street race here, that's Henry. He's brought his Magura, and I'm not going to take on that Magura in this Wanja. It might be able to do it, but Henry is tough. Show Henry respect. He's the only NPC in this game who I consider a threat. That guy will beat you, and everybody else they're toast. All right, I know this is gonna be a good car. We're gonna sell it to some little old lady with a 703 horsepower engine, and yeah, it's just basically a Wanja has the stopping distance of a fully loaded freight train. So we're just for safety, we're gonna leave the racing brakes on there because we don't want to be rear-ended by this car. So we're gonna just all right. Sad to see it go. It's a nice car, but we need the parking lot space. Now, yeah, let's try to go for a... Now, what we're going to do is, in order to explore the game, explore the details of the game, or what we're going to do is take this Narnu and put it on the track we were on earlier. And this is a 2-ton chassis. This is 2 tons. It has no business going anywhere. Like this one over here, that's off-road optimized. Like if somebody announces an Easter egg somewhere on the map, this car right here can drive to it. Any point on the map, this thing will drive up and over almost anything. I mean, anything except the sheer cliffs of King's Peak over there. But yeah, this is the one we're gonna work on. And let's. Now what we're gonna do the body work, wash it. Let's see, paint it, and we just want it to look shiny. We don't care about the color. All right, now everything's nice and shiny. We have a very respectable looking Narnu. Now we're gonna remove the headlights. They weigh 2 kilograms each, so just removing this saves us 4 kilograms. Removing this and saves a kilogram. We're gonna leave the cooling fans in there because it's a heavy thing, and the engine's gonna be working really hard. Just go through everything and fix it. Or I selected one that was in good condition. Alright, we lost our speedometer, lost our tachometer, lost our water temp. Alright, keeping our fuel temp. And we need an oil. Well, I mean, here we can put anything we want in these slots, but let's see what we can go for stock here. Alright, we're gonna, in slot number, large instrument number 2, we're gonna put a racing tachometer. And we're gonna, I'll have to clean up my inventory later. I sell everything that's anything worse than a good, anything worse than a good condition, I sell. And if I can't fix it, then I sell it. And so I'm gonna have to do that later after I finish this video. Now what we're gonna have to do is Jingu speedos don't go anywhere, so that's gonna suck. Alright, we're gonna take the racing speedo. Alright, put that. Large instrument. Stall. Alright, now we have our speedometer in slot 1, tachometer in slot 2, Now we're gonna take our, we already have fuel. Yeah, I don't, actually that battery level gauge, alright, so I'm gonna put that in instrument in a 3. So we're monitoring the water temperature is very important because that tells you whether your cooling system's adequate and make sure, very important. So, and that's what did I just buy? I didn't actually buy it. It had already been sold to somebody else. I might go for a Jingu and a gauge. It's an okay gauge. Jingu is kind of a cheap industrial brand. It's like an industrial truck. It's not really a fuel, dashboard, speedo. Alright. Just scored ourselves a... Alright, that's our instrument. Now, this steering rack, this sensitivity is crap, so it's gone. You're gonna probably want to go... Given what we learned from the Magura, we probably want to go to another Walla Walla and a steering rack. So I'm gonna see if we can score one. Otherwise, we'll put it in the boot and bang and hope for the best. No. Maybe. I'll pick one up just because. Yeah, there we go. To get our Walla Walla steering, which is slightly less angle, but much better sensitivity, which is what we want. And so we're going to take that. Yeah, a lot of damage back here. Alright, now what... I just did that to restore. Now our 425 ratio, that's an off-road ratio. And yeah, if we're driving this over boulders, yeah, but we're going to need a high speed or top speed. So we're going to have to remove all of this, even though we just restored everything. And I probably have a couple in my collection, so I'll sell off the... I usually try to keep one of each type of part, just so I have everything available, don't have to go fish too much. Yeah, another thing is these sway bars. The Jingus and the Narnus have truck sway bars, and these are longer or wider than a cart. And so you can swap sway bars between Jingus and Narnus. That's good, but you can't put them on anything else, and vice versa. So we have a... yeah, that's what we were using, so we now have 2 of those. I'm going to have to sell those off. We're probably actually going to go to a Walla Walla and a 4x... There aren't many gearboxes with ratios in the low 2s. Probably... the trick is we have 2 metric tons, and we're going to have to move that. So we're going to need a slightly higher ratio to move those 2 metric tons, but it can't be so high that we can't make a top end and stay in the race. So we're in a little bit of a bind. Now the Butenbangs, that's much too low. The engine's not going to turn that. The Wanja SE, that might be something to consider for this. They changed the Maguras. The Magura had like a 2.2 4x4 and a 2.2 regular. Well, I moved that 2.2 regular down to the 1/8, which I can see working for a Magura, but it's not going to work on this thing. Again, we're going to need to be in the mid to low 2s, which means we're going to have to go fish. Yeah, I like stockpiling those. That's a 2.2 ratio box, and that's what I was using on the Wanja, which is 500 kilograms lighter than this turkey. So I know we're gonna have to. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get away with that, or if I do, it's gonna be a miracle. I might put it on there just because I don't have anything else. Sport diff. Let's see what that is. I don't know whether I have. Now the transmission. We'll have to look at the transmission too. Yeah, the shifting time, that's sort of marginal. I mean, that's kind of high. But on the other hand, we're probably only going to be using a third and fourth gear for the whole race. Like if I were taking it to the forest, then hell yeah, I'd need shift time. But but for this, nah. Yeah, I'm going to be selling a lot of parts once this video's done. I'm going to take all of this apart. It's sort of like a tree. Everything is a tree off of the spring. So you click on the spring, drill down to what you want, or drill down to the bottom. Like, and I'd already removed the tire, so the bottom is now the rim. So I remove the rim, and I'm back at the top, so I have to go down again. And since there's nothing here, I'm at the bottom, and I just repeat that same process until I've see, this is now the bottom. Everything's empty, so it's the bottom. I can remove it, fix, remove that. I mean, the game lets you do silly things. I can go in here. And even though the brake is clamped between the rim and the hub, I can just go in and take it out, even though that's ridiculous. So, again, we're going to take the entire... The problem here is that this is an off-road truck, and it's way up in the air, which is fine if you're driving over boulders. But if we're going to take it to the track... We're going to want this thing on the ground. We're going to put this on the... it'll be basically scraping the sway bar as we're on basically the entire race. So it's things going on the ground. Alright, now I hadn't really come to a decision on the differential. Because I don't have a Walla Walla R4 on me right now. That one's 370, and sometimes I'd consider that. The Narnus, oh shoot, I already had one of those, so I was... again, I'll sell off the extra off camera. That is going to be very marginal for this build, but I don't have any option right now, so that's what's going in there. Now, I'm working on a Narnu, so I'm going to build it up with Narnu parts, and just go ahead and... I'd probably prefer two-wheel drive on this build, but just to save weight. But I'm going with what I have, and that's the build we're ending up with. So, again, continue the disassembly. Oh boy. Yeah, the NRX... Now, these Narnu engines, these are like truck motors. A truck motor is... Basically, a truck is a larger vehicle, and it's heavier, and therefore the constant load on the engine is higher than it is for a little Walla Walla engine. So, what they do is they build them out of stouter parts, so they won't fatigue, the metal won't fatigue as quickly as they would on a car vehicle. So in an endurance race, yeah, this engine will go on this will keep going all week long, where the engine we're going to put in there is going to be dead after the race, basically. So, again, this engine is optimized for endurance, but we're going to be taking it to a speed race, so that's what we're going to have to do. And so I'll remove... shoot, I didn't want to do that per se. Let's start... the launches, I stocked up my parts last night, so I wouldn't have to shop too much. So the WGTA doesn't tell you what it gives you, but I don't care. 1,700, got like 1.1, almost 1.2 million. So I don't care. Got no budget right now. The carb I want to put in here is a boot and bang, and it's got like a base level of 0.6, or it's like a 6% boost. So I want that. I want to go on a whole hog. These tower on air filters, they only work on the Narnu and the Jingu. You can put them on the Walla Walla, but that's stupid. You're blocking your entire windshield, where the hood level is so high on the Narnu that it doesn't hurt you that much. So that's how we're going to do that. And then put in an oil filter. Yeah, let's take apart that other engine. Good. Yeah, I think it's this one. The belts are usually considered consumption items, and they're cheap and they're always replaced. But this game's a little weird, so let's see. Where the... Alright, motor. Yeah, SV6s are kind of nice, but Anyway, the starter, starter is broken. Probably want to stick, this is actually a Wanja engine. Because it's a Wanja engine, we'll use a Wanja starter on it, so that'll be good. The generator, we're using the electrical system on this thing is still a Narnu. It is a Narnu, so we're going to put a Narnu on it, so install the Wanja. So yeah, we got a Wanja engine, so we'll use a Wanja drive belt, but we're going to have a Narnu electrical system, and that'll have a Narnu a generator on it. The ignition, let's see, again, we'd probably go for, if we had one, a Wanja, yeah, let's see if we can get a Wanja ignition on there. There isn't really anything to tell one from the other, but I mean, it doesn't give you any specs for the ignition. But I know that's a Wanja engine, so I'm going to match it up with a Wanja and a thing. Thermostats are generic, water pumps are generic, so that's easy. Spark plugs. Nah, that's no good. I think I'll go with Narnu Sparks. I mean, it's wrong engine type, but who cares? Horn, I'm going to leave off. Lights, I'm leaving off. Tail lights, I'm going to leave those on, just safety. Now, the racing, we're going to use racing suspension. And install that. We're going to use... let's see what happens when we put Narnu hubs on here. And then we're going to use let's see, racing rear brakes. It's a very good question. Let's use Narnu sport brakes back here. That's because that's what I have. And the rear hub. Bottom control arm, we're going to go for generic control arms and all quarters. You see, if you're going to use those 250 tires, then you're basically condemned to use. You have to lower the suspension, and you need those super long Wanja or those Narnu hubs there. But we're going for a race on the vehicle, so now we're gonna have to go for 240s on here, or the 340s, because nothing less. This is the heaviest car in the game, and if we don't put these 340s on here, it's like woe be to our pathetic, wretched souls here. And the 340s are listed as drag tires, so they're up at the top there. So yeah, that's what our rear end's going to be. The front end, we've built the engine, and we're gonna use the Euroa racing suspension, which is what we need. We're gonna use the Narnu hub, so we just took off. I'm gonna put those back on because those have the double wishbone, and we need that to I'm going to continue using sport on the front sport brakes. Now the front needs to be a little bit lighter because we're going to actually be turning that, and we can't deal with those big turkey or those big fat ass rims back there. So we're going to have to go to the these Narnu control arms, they're kind of unique in the game, and they have... I'm not going to touch those. A little bit of a glitch in the game. Maybe I should just sell them just to clear the glitch, but we're definitely going to need more control arms. Let's see. Still need one more control arm. Now, normally I would say that factory suspensions suck. However, for an off-road optimized car, you want a really nice, soft, squishy suspension so you can drive over your boulders, and that's what I got on the other Narnu. But this one, I mean, basically we need it as hard as we can possibly make it. So, yeah, and I always buy the sport and the special and the racing suspension, except for the Narnu ones where you want the option to go for full off-road build, but once you have enough of those, you're done. Yeah, used, they don't care about used when it comes to control arms. Top control arm, just generic, install. Front hub, bottom control arm. See? Yeah, that's wrong. I mean, there should be like some spring between there, and it's like there I have absolutely no spring whatsoever. But anyway, so we'll see what happens when we get this on the track. All right, there we go. So that's going to be our slick tire. Now we need slicks to get us on the track. I think I'd stocked up on slicks and again in preparation, so I'm all right. Now it's super easy to get on. If I accidentally click the drive button, it'll put the thing outside with the engine started, and it'll immediately blow up because it has no oil in it. So absolutely check that. Be -3 on the tire pressure is sort of like if you have thick tires. If you have like ATV tires, you only need like 8 pounds of pressure. Or if you have so tire pressure is based on the vehicle weight and the width of your rims. And again, wide rims on a lightweight cars, then you can have like 8 pounds of ATV pressure. Or if you have like vintage, really narrow rims on a pretty heavy car, then you need a lot of tire pressure, like 40 pounds. And that's just, you have to just sort of have to test it out, see how it goes. As you can see, we got this thing down on the ground, and it's going to be basically scraping the undercarriage the whole race, which is what we need to do because it's a 2,000-pound turkey. Let's see what our weight is. Our weight is 2.5 metric tons there. So what I'm then proposing to do is absolutely nuts. We got that in, top off the water, and charge the battery. I don't like to charge. I don't want to overcharge the battery. Just enough to get it at its sort of resting state there. And sparks, adjust that. Fuel, got enough for the race. All right. I think that's it. Now what we're gonna do. This is a new build. We just put this car together, so we're not going to embarrass ourselves by taking it straight into a race. We're going to just see what it make sure everything. Do 1 or 2 laps here. Make sure we have a car basically. Yeah, it's kind of struggling here. We're only in 3rd gear right now. See if we can get it up to speed. Come on. Yeah, it's barely got enough in 4th gear to have no trouble holding the road. I mean, given our build, and that's almost perfect. Again, another practice lap. So, as you can see, it's slowly building up speed, and then we have to... we lose a lot of it in this turn. So we're gonna be downshifting a lot in this race. We're gonna have to go on a 3rd gear, get us up to speed, get us back up to 4th gear, swing us around to just try to kill everybody on this inner thing here, go back down to 3rd gear, and just get this turkey back up to speed. I really want a, yeah, this differential's too stiff. I don't want a 2-3 diff in this thing, not the 2-2 is just bullshit, so, and we're going back to the garage. Alright, now this differential is heavier. It's like, yeah, we're losing 15 kilograms. I mean, by losing, I mean we're gaining the weight, and so we're doing worse there, but we're up at, we're already driving the Queen Mary here, but our ratio is 2.3. So our engine stands a better chance of turning 2.3 instead of 2.2, and of course when you multiply that through the transmission, and it is what it is. So we're going to put all our new parts back in. Yeah, make sure we didn't lose anything on our engine. Alright, we're good. At least spot check our... I think we're scraping the pavement there. Huh. didn't really use the brakes any, so I don't know how it got so much. Well, the problem is I want to keep the car symmetrical, so I'm not gonna. Very odd. Unless I missed something, I don't know why my brakes are on that side of the car. Crap, and it's well, we gotta fix what we gotta fix. Alright, we're going to replace all our brakes with the red racing brakes. We're going to remove our sport brakes, add our racing brake. Alright, now check our oil. Yeah, probably we only did like 1 lap on that, so it's okay. Up to speed. All that just to get us up to speed. Yes. I think I might have lost something on my tires. Yeah, the transmission I picked is not quite fast enough to do these downshifts the way I need to for this setup, so that's going to be an issue. But our lap time is like 39 seconds, which means that 35 seconds. So, and for the sake of this video, even though this car is not perfect, and it's completely wrong for a lot of reasons. And I think we're going to actually race this thing. Let's put some money down and see what we got here. So he brought a Jingu. The Jingus weigh about the same as the